Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a dedicated review, and this one is going to be on The Bad Muslim Discount by Syed Masood. So this is a book that I had previously received an ARC copy of electronically from NetGalley. I unfortunately did not get to it before the publication date, but because I was still so invested and so interested in the book, I decided to pick up a copy from Book of the Month, and I also had this from my local library in an audiobook format. So I've kind of had a very complicated relationship with this book, and I felt because it was so complicated and I still was able to finish it, I had to review this baby for you guys. So in case you are interested, let's get to it. Okay guys, off the bat, I ended up giving this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I will say really quickly, I am not an owned voice review, so if you do want that, unfortunately I can't give that to you. I am of a different religion, but I still think that what I can say from this book and my understanding of this book and of this religion is still valid, so I would like to still give you this input. Like I said, I read this book both physically and also listened to it via audiobook. First, the audiobook I think is outstanding, especially for somebody like me who may not understand how to pronounce some of the words and some of the terms and some of the phrases that happen to come up, in various conversations throughout this book. I think just listening to it, I was able to really be absorbed into the world, and I also was able to really feel the hurt of some of the characters in certain situations. You really were put into their mindset because a lot of this book was in first person written narrative. So you're really put into their visual responses, into their emotional capacity, what they're feeling. You're pretty much feeling through this audiobook. And there also were 2 different voices for the female, and her name, let's get it right, is Safwa, and the male main character, his name is Anvar. So both of these characters are from Muslim based countries. Safwa, if I remember correctly, is from Iran, and Anvar is from, I believe, Pakistan. And both of their lives kind of converge in the United States. Hence why you see them right in front of, I think this is the San Francisco Bay Bridge. I don't know. I'm not really knowledgeable about the west of the United States. Never eat soggy waffles. Yeah, west. I'm not really knowledgeable about that side of the country. But that's also why you see the flag on this cover. So, sorry, let me stop going on tangents. Anvar's family, they leave the country kind of voluntarily because Anvar's dad is kind of over dealing with the stuff that they have to deal with. And he's like, I want something new. I want peace. I'm tired of all of this. We're moving to the United States. And he kind of takes his family with him, and they end up moving, I believe, on like a work visa for his dad. And they end up just being able to stay in the United States because of that. And they ultimately become citizens. Then we have Safwa. And Safwa, you really see the difference between them, not only because of the countries that they live in and their families, of course, but also the family makeup, kind of their experiences, because Safwa is having a lot of difficulty with her family. There are some physical barriers because of sicknesses that she has in her family. But also because Safwa is a woman. She is a woman in this Muslim society where they, to an extent, don't want her to have a voice, don't want her to be really seen. And she's struggling with that. She is a very strong woman, and she does not know how to cope with something like that. And she's trying to free herself of these barriers. And she unfortunately gets caught up into this situation that is really not good. She ultimately is able to get her and her father to the United States under these very precarious situation and circumstances, and she just gets stuck. She gets stuck, and you end up ultimately feeling so much for Safwa because you can see how she got stuck in the situation and you want to help her get out. And you can see she wants to get out, but it's just so hard because of the love for her family member, but the hurt and the disgust that she has for another character in this book. And I will say there are also going to be triggers for this mental abuse, physical abuse, both familial and relationship in there. Relationship meaning like sexual relationship between somebody outside of your family with some of that abuse. It's so disheartening. I felt so much more for Safwa because of all of the things that she was going through, and also because probably because I am a female. And this book wow. Okay, so I knew that some of these things that females are made to wear or choose to wear in Muslim society and countries can kind of minimize their sexuality, their femininity. But I just had never been put into a mindset of a female and just had to go through her struggle because of it. And it was just so bad. And her and Anvar, of course, meet. And I don't want to tell you too much. I don't want to give too much away. But that is why these two main characters are kind of highlighted. So in case you're one of those people that are like, I need to know if they meet. I need to know if there's a connection. There is a connection. And I'm going to leave it at that. But I also kind of want to go back to Anvar for a little while. Because Anvar... So the title of this book is The Bad Muslim Discount. And clearly, right, this author is really trying to get at, are they bad Muslims because they may not deal with their religion in the way that some others want them to deal with, or they may question their religion in ways that other people may not question it. And that's kind of where Anvar is. Anvar has always questioned being Muslim. He's always questioned certain practices. He's always been very hesitant. He hasn't been the kind of, I'm just going to do what you say, son or Muslim. And he has a love affair that lasts through generations, through decades. And between that and just his questioning faith, we're really following Anvar kind of growing up, because to an extent he was very much an immature adult until the very end of this book. And I still enjoyed it though. You still enjoy and see that character development that I very much enjoy even in adult fiction. And with Safwa, she isn't a bad Muslim because she questions her religion. She never questions her religion. I think she is a bad Muslim because she fights against what the Muslim men say she's supposed to be. She fights against what the little pigeonholed characteristics or ideology that she is supposed to follow. And she doesn't. And I appreciate that so much. I appreciate how this narrator, or I'm sorry, not this narrator, I appreciated how this author really built both characters. You really follow them through a decent amount of their life. And I appreciate this book so much. I will say that if you don't have any backbone or of the religion, you can still read this and not kind of be shell-shocked. You'll still kind of get introduced to certain things, whether it's the Ramadan practices that some of these characters are following, or other practices, whether it's their diet or anything like that. This author does a pretty good job, in my opinion, of giving you kind of that backbone. And even, like I said, if you're not able to get your hands on the audiobook, some of the terms or phrases, I still feel like he did a really good job of, like, after saying it, like writing it or whatever, he said what it was, So either way, I think this is a really good book for those who are Muslims and maybe questioning or trying to understand their faith in a different way, and those who aren't and just enjoy getting a perspective and seeing how how important it is for a lot of people to actually travel to the US. And I think that's kind of my underlining love of books like this, where it is so important for some people to come to the US or to countries where they're not questioned, where they're not forced to do certain things, where there is peace. Just because it's a life or death situation. And I can't fathom how much I really appreciated reading this book. I am very happy that I picked this up from Book of the Month and that I was able to read it, like I said, and also listen to it by audiobook. I know this author has written, I think, 2 or 3 other books, and I do intend to fully pick up those books one way or another. And yeah, that is pretty much how I want to end this review. I feel like I was just going on, but this is a really good book. I would highly recommend it, and I don't hear anybody talking about this book on this platform, and I just wanted to give my 2 cents about the book. So I would love it if you guys would ask questions down below. I'll do my best to respond to them in a timely fashion. But yeah, like I said, I would highly recommend this book. I would give it 2 thumbs up, and like I said, I did end up giving this book a 5 out of 5 stars. So with that being said, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.